Talita na radio Fijuan and Murran and Nondabono.
The Talita can borrow on a radio Fijuan is in a Tokambolet station in Yalomatu.
And the Talita borrow on a radio Fijuan station in Yalomatu Lotoka.
And the Talita borrow on a radio Fijuan and Mandi in a station in Yalomatu.
Oh, to the Corvo. On the Borrow live in a station in Yalmatua and a radio Fijuan. The Borrow and a radio Fijuan, a station in Yalmatua, number 2 Tilip.
The radio Fijuan, and the way within Wonga and Vienna.
In this bulletin, former Native Lands Trust Board General Manager Bakani pleads guilty to abuse of office. Felix Anthony tells us why he left FTUC to contest the general elections. And British government keen to help Fiji in electoral process. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Former Native Lands Trust Board General Manager Bakani has been convicted of 5 counts of abuse of office. Chanel Sivan has the details.
Bakani this morning changed his plea to guilty, meaning the case will now go to mitigation and sentencing. The court has heard that between December 2003 and September 2005, Bakani fraudulently applied the extinct Mathangali funds amounting to $3 million to Vanua Development Corporation Limited and later to Ballu Khan's Pacific Connex Limited. He also fraudulently applied for a government grant of $1 million which was dispersed to Vanua Development Corporation Limited through Native Land Trust Board to secure a loan for Pacific Connex Limited. Bakani abused his power by approving several other loans to PCX Limited using this money belonging to indigenous landowners. The 63-year-old is represented by lawyer Philimoni Vosarongo. Vosarongo told Judge Justice Janaka Bandara that the defense will produce 3 character witnesses before sentencing. Bakani's bail condition has been extended and he has been ordered to report to Faikek every Saturday. Meanwhile, his co-accused Kenin Dakwin Reketi's trial will resume on Wednesday. He faces fraudulent conversion charges and will be represented by QC Brian Keane and Maria Cole. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
5 secondary school students from Nauru are being interrogated over the weekend death of a Tongan University student following a Friday night brawl outside a nightclub. Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tundravu says they are investigating all leads in relation to the death.
I can confirm that we have 5 Nauru nationals that are in our police custody at this moment in time. Interview has continued. However, if any charges that are to be laid will depend on the result of the post-mortem and also statements of witness in which we are currently undertaking.
22-year-old Tongan USP student Sione Tufui was involved in a Friday night brawl and was pronounced dead at the CWM hospital on Saturday morning. Tufui was a second-year student doing a bachelor's degree in information systems and physics at USP. A staff nurse at the Navua hospital has been suspended in connection with the death of a newborn baby. It is alleged the nurse told a 27-year-old woman who came to the hospital with labor pains to find her own transport to CWM hospital in Suva because they did not have her file. The woman then traveled by taxi to the CWM hospital. However, her child was pronounced dead upon delivery. The Ministry of Health has confirmed that the staff nurse was suspended immediately pending an investigation. People's Democratic Party leader Felix Anthony says being a unionist is a part of who he is. Speaking on FBC TV's Talkback show For the Record last night, Anthony admits he would never have left the Fiji Trade Union Congress if not for the political party's registration decree.
Felix Anthony has been a trade unionist for the past 32 years. If it were up to him, he'd still be with the Fiji Trade Union Congress.
I had no desire to leave the trade union movement. And let me just make one thing very clear, that this government can impose any decrees that can get me out of the union, but they can't impose any decrees that will get the union out of me. I'm going to be a union man. I've been a union man all my life, and I'm going to be a union man till the day I die.
Under the political party's registration decree, an individual can't stand for elections if he or she is an office bearer in a union movement. Felix Anthony says unionism and politics are not different.
There is no real clear line between the work of a trade unionist and politics, because anything that happens in politics affects workers, and therefore it becomes the trade union's role to not only protect workers' interests but to promote workers' interests.
The People's Democratic Party will launch its manifesto next month, along with the names of its candidates. The party is currently interviewing potential candidates, but is hopeful to fill the 50 required.
But I can assure you that it will be truly multiracial, it will be truly diverse, it will be a bit of a good gender balance. Our constitution says 30% of women minimum in leadership positions and 20% youth, so we will be looking at that in our lineup of candidates.
The party will hold its delegations conference on the 5th of July. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, regional youth and civil societies talk on issues facing young people.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nen.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Batu Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The British government is keen to help Fiji with the elections process. High Commissioner to Fiji, Roderick Drummond, confirmed to FBC News they're assisting the Elections Office with technical expertise.
Most of the help that's been coming to Fiji from the United Kingdom has been through the European Union, both in terms of funding and providing technical assistance. As we grow closer to September, the UK government wants a more direct approach.
We're also talking with our other partners about what else we can do in terms of other niche areas of support. For example, recently we had some people out from the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly helping give some advice in terms of setting up the new Parliament here in Fiji. Although it's not on the Westminster model, nonetheless the experience that we've had in the last 15 years of setting up new democratic institutions is very relevant.
Drummond also confirms they're about to identify a representative to join an international observer mission for the September elections. Meanwhile, all of Fiji's progress has been met with enthusiasm by the British government.
In all of these fields, one of the things that really impressed me in this first year has been a genuine seeking of advice from the Fijian government and institutions concerned. They're open to and indeed seeking our support on a number of things, and we've been able to respond, I hope.
This evening, the British High Commissioner will host celebrations to mark the 88th birthday of Queen Elizabeth II. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Students have been urged not to participate in drug-related activities and to be aware of their bad effects on their lives. The students were given this message at the launch of Anti-Drug Week at Rambi Cesar Memorial School in Nausori. Savara Tambo went along to the school and filed this report.
The goal of this day is to raise awareness, inspire and mobilize support for drug control, anti-substance abuse and the elimination of identified drug issues.
Drugs is very harmful to us. You can lose your memory if you take it. So if you are taking drugs, please, you better stop.
It's very bad. It has killed thousands of people. So you should say no to drugs. It's not good.
Stay drugs free. Be smart. Don't start with drugs.
The head of the school believes people should be more aware of the effect of drugs, especially how they can make adults and students fail to understand and recognize the important values in their life.
My advice to parents, please do monitor your children. Do monitor them all the time, wherever they are, as to what they are doing, what they are taking, who their PAs are, where they are going, how they are spending their time. Because children are our future generation.
According to records at St. Giles Hospital, between 2006 and 2009, there were 1,177 admitted for marijuana abuse. Another 167 were admitted for cover abuse, 194 for alcohol abuse, 333 for tobacco abuse, and 12 for either glue or benzene abuse. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
A regional youth and civil society dialogue is underway in Nandi to encourage youth leaders from 14 Pacific Island countries to talk about issues facing young people. At the same time, the gathering hopes to find out how each young participant can contribute to shaping development amongst the youth of the region. Akosita Tale reports.
The dialogue hopes to increase the opportunity and provide a discussion forum for Pacific youth and civil society to discuss key human rights issues related to good governance, peace, conflict and security.
Whether it's issues around healthy choices and lifestyles, issues around NCDs, non-communicable diseases, the issues of addressing violence against women, any of those issues that young people are concerned about or would like to have a say.
Unemployment is an issue that Fiji will be bringing to the table and are calling on the private and public sectors to give a chance for youths to be provided with a decent employment.
We need to work together because youth can't work on these things alone. We need to ask for public sectors and private sectors to come and work together, and we can help in educate our youths of today for sustainable future.
Representatives from the Cook Islands say there's a much stronger need for the government and civil society to work together and engage young people in leadership programs and how to express their issues.
Lack of education and the awareness to people for the youth and the youth with disability. Also just the communication between the governments and the civil societies for us to communicate with each other and know what is happening and what is not happening for our youth.
The outcome from this dialogue is expected to be documented for the third conference on Small Island Developing States meeting to be held in Samoa in September. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Monday Sports now, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. After the break, Cook Islands arrived for World Cup qualifier against flying Fijians. Ba and Nandi to face off again in Fiji Fact knockout stages. This and more coming up.
Talita na Radio Fiji One na mwira ni nondo bonua.
Ando talita kana borro na Radio Fiji One singa toka boleta ni station ni Almatua.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji One station ni Almatua ilo toka.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji One na Mandi na station ni Almatua.
Au tungo korbo ando borro mo live na station ni Almatua na Radio Fiji One.
Ando borro na Radio Fiji One na station ni Almatua na bandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji One nandu mwe biti ngonga ni DNA.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Cook Islands team arrived in the country today for their match against the Flying Fijians on Saturday. The two teams meet in a 2015 Rugby World Cup qualifier which will be played in Lautoka. The winner will qualify for the World Cup to be played in England, and the Cooks are ready to create an upset.
It's been good camp so far. We've moved each time we've trained, and we've had to put a lot into them in a short time, 9 days to try and get ready. We know, Fiji is going to be a hell of a challenge for where they're ranked in the world, and the power and the speed and the pace and how they play the game. But it's an opportunity for us as Cook Islands Rugby to have probably a week in the spotlight with Cook Islands Rugby and try and promote Cook Islands Rugby and show what we've got to. We've got some talent and we can play the game. So.
The winner of the match will be pooled with Australia, England, Wales and a playoff winner for the World Cup. Kickoff is 3 p.m. Saturday, and you can catch a live commentary of that match on Bula FM. It will be a repeat of last year's final when Ba meets Nandi in the Vodafone Fiji Fact semi-final on Saturday. This as the Men in Black thumped Lambasa 3-0 in its final pool match last night and now faces the team which beat them in the final last year. Indra Singh has more.
From the far side, crosses in and
this is how Ba started and finished the last pool match, scoring 3 massive goals against Lambasa.
Yes, we are proud that we have made it to the semi-finals after a shaky
a scary start on Friday.
It was also a great testing ground for Lambasa, which rested its key players, as it had already qualified for the semi-final before the kick-off of this game.
Well, it was a hard work of our team, I think, because we knew that we have already made it up to the semis. So I didn't want to take that approach whereby some of my players, about 7 players, already had yellow cards.
For Ba, it's all about getting back into the rhythm after the first up loss to Nandronga.
Well, I mean, it's a week to think about that. At present, we cannot think about it, but we will do think about it when we will go back to training after the recovery session.
The Bambasinga Lions will field its best team against Suva in the other semi-final.
Yeah, of course. Basically with this game against Ba, I did not have 7 of my starting lineup or key players not taking the field. But I'm still happy because I gave a break to the new boys. And we'll line all those things out, and those 7 players coming in will make basically a good team for us come the semis.
So 5 days separate the action, and the 4 teams will sure come out firing after rest and recovery. Who reigns in Nosori on Sunday will only be known then. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Football Association today received funding from the Fiji Sports Commission for the salary payment of its coach Juan Carlos Buzetti. The commission signed the deal with the Fiji FA as part of its funding of overseas coaches with local sporting bodies. The deal is believed to be between $150,000 to $200,000. Buzetti's salary was previously funded by Fiji FA.
For the next 3 years, we'll be assisting Fiji Football Association with their national coaches' salary and contract, which is a whole package. It includes salary, accommodation, and various other things that are part of an international coaches package. We're really pleased to be part of it. And
meanwhile, Maisie said he was happy with the standard of football displayed by the teams in the Vodafone Fiji Fact. The Pacifica Under-17 Tri-Series cricket competition gets underway in Suva tomorrow. Last night, the tournament was officially launched by Minister of Sports Williame Naupoto. The participating teams say this is the best platform for future stars to strut their stuff. Indra Singh with more.
These youngsters start the battle tomorrow in showcasing what the future of the Pacific talent is all about.
I think it's a great opportunity for the young players in our region to test themselves against the best. I know PNG is not here, but we needed to make sure that there was a pathway for our players, not just for Fiji obviously, and I think Vanuatu share the same interest.
For Cricket Fiji, it's all about playing a grand host and also being able to ensure its own team does well.
We've got a lot of young players coming through our development program and into our junior high performance programs, so we've got to make sure there's opportunities for them to represent the country and also play that at a high standard at their age group.
The national side has been working hard under new coach Shane Eugensen.
This is the foundation of cricket in Fiji, and we're starting from the grassroots, and we're intending to go down to under 15 next year.
The Vanuatu senior side has always been a powerhouse in the sport, and now the juniors are here to repeat that.
Coming here, we got the expectation of Fiji and Tonga. They prepare for this tournament as well, so we will be expecting good competitive games.
And for the Tongans, the friendly islanders just can't wait for the games to begin.
We are looking forward for it, to play against Fiji and Vanuatu.
So from tomorrow, these young cricketers will fight it out. Who bats, bowls or hits the runs best to come out on top will be known on Friday. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
The Agriculture Ministry has signed a Memorandum of Understanding to assist farmers improving their soil fertility and increasing farm production. The MOU, signed with South Pacific Fertilizer, Agriculture Chemical of Fiji Limited and Basic Industries Limited, will see the supply of various fertilizers to non-sugar farmers in line with the fertilizer subsidy program. Standard operating procedures have also been drawn up, which outlines the collection of delivery of fertilizer, authorization levels, payments and monitoring. Tell us more about today's fine weather, Trish.
Yes, of course, Jackie. For all 6 major centers, it was a splendid day all day. Looking at today's temperatures, we had Suva on 28 and Nani Lotoka on 29. Bar the warmers at 32, where Sabu Sabu reached 28 and Lambasa hit 31. Another cool night coming from Bar Lotoka, Nadi Singatoka and Tabua. They'll drop to a chilly 17 tonight. Looking at tomorrow, Suva can expect cloudy skies with occasional showers throughout the day. For you folks up in Sabu Sabu, a sunny morning turning cloudy in the afternoon. Sorry about that. Nadi Lotoka and Ba, you can expect cloudy skies all day long, and Lambasa you'll have fine weather all throughout the day. For mariners, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate seas. This fascinating image was taken at Fantasy Dive Site at Bengal Lagoon, picture courtesy of Sekaya.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Recapping the top stories. Former Native Lands Trust Board General Manager Kalivati Bakani will be sentenced at a later date after he pleaded guilty to abuse of office. 5 high school students from Nauru are in police custody over a Tongan University student's death in Suva over the weekend, and a staff nurse at the Nauru Hospital has been suspended in connection with the death of a newborn baby last week. Now onto the results from last week's poll question. We had asked, do we need more political parties to contest the election? 30% said yes, 70% said no. This week we're asking, are we doing enough to address human trafficking? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's Monday Night News from the team and me. Till tomorrow at the same time, good evening.
Talitak na Radio Fiji One na mwirani nondo kunoa.
Ando talitak na borrongo na Radio Fiji One singa toka mbole ni station ni Almatua.
Ando talitak bale una borrongo na Radio Fiji One station ni Almatua ilo toka.
Ando talitak bale una borrongo na Radio Fiji One mandi na station ni Almatua.
Au tu ko korbo ando borrongo live na station ni Almatua na Radio Fiji One. Ando borrongo na Radio Fiji One na station ni Almatua na mandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji One nandu mwivi tina bonga ni BNN.